Hi, my name's Jo Banham. I'm 18 and I was a service user at CAMS for 3.5 years. I am now a member of the Article 12 Council and have been ever since it was first set up 4.5 years ago. I first joined the panel when at the end of a consulting session I didn't speak too highly of CAMS and my consultant asked if I wanted to make a difference, and he gave Matt Kent my number, and after that I got a phone call from Matt and met him at Aylesbury with 4 other young people, and that was the first day the Article 12 Council met, and I've been involved ever since. The Article 12 Council, the name itself actually stands for one of the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child, and Article 12 states that children and young people have a right to be involved in decisions that affect them. And we felt this was so important as this was exactly the message and exactly the purpose of the panel that we were setting up. We work throughout Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire, and we work with many different people and different collaborations in different projects, and we like to be involved in everything from the planning, the development and the evaluation, as we don't want to be a tokenistic panel. Some of the projects that we've been involved in, as Matt has probably already told you, was my first project was the SQ It's All About You, the service questionnaire. For our panel this was one of the most important projects, as this was where we started. From getting the evaluation from what young people in the service had to say, we then helped CAMS itself, do the little things around the place like tidy up the wires, move the waiting room, make it a much more user-friendly service. And within 6 months we found the feedback so much more positive on CAMS. Some of the other projects that I've been involved in are many interviews, from interviewing clinicians, psychologists, to the new IAP project that's going on at the moment. I love being part of interviews. I think they're brilliant. Sitting on the other side of a panel with the adults is very empowering for a young person. And so far, at every interview, I've been very surprised to find that we, as young people, have always agreed with what the adults on the panel have thought. I've also been involved in many presentations, and one of my favourite was one back in July at the Big IAPT conference. I spoke with 2 other young people from other panels in the south of England, and to over 200 people. We had them up on their feet, playing games, getting involved in activities to make them understand why young people's participation is so important. So along with doing that, we've also done training days, which surprise a lot of people as to what we get up to during them. We like to get adults involved and motivated in what they do, because I think from them being sat behind a desk, they don't always see the front line necessarily. So we've had managers and clinicians and reception staff and everybody who works in CAMS turn up. And we started off with our traditional warm-up games to get everybody motivated first thing in the morning. And then we go through right to the end, where we like to conclude with making sure people understand the message of the day, which is all about getting young people involved and understanding that they have a voice and that actually it's really important to listen to this. One of the projects that I was involved in, I think about 2 years ago, we made 2 films to promote mental health. This is a big part of the Article 12 Council, and our message is about running lots of anti-stigma campaigns so that we break down the barriers on mental health. We've run 2 films, one called Food for Thought and the other one is called Me, Myself and Mental Health. I myself worked on the Me, Myself and Mental Health video, and throughout the course of the summer we planned what we wanted to say, we went out and filmed it, we edited it, all with the help of some very important people who knew exactly what they were doing with the equipment. But we trekked around Oxford getting all the clips, and you can now find those videos on YouTube if you fancy having a watch. From doing all these projects personally, I find each individual one empowering and very insightful, and I have learnt so much from doing them. I'm very appreciative that I've been allowed to be involved in them. I think it's very important for young people to be involved in them, because we've been there, we've been through the service, we can offer first-hand information to managers and people who can really make a difference in CAMS. I think participation is so important because, like I say, it's so rewarding for me personally. I've seen it rewarding for the clinicians and for the people who work with the young people, and obviously, most importantly, it's rewarding and beneficial to those who use the service currently, which, after all, that's what we're all here to do. For me, it's also important for developing the service. Mental health is such a new thing to be talked about, that it's really important that as there are new discoveries and people find out more, that we keep the service up to date and we keep finding out what young people want and what carers want and what parents want, so that we can keep the service as up to date as possible. And one thing people forget about participation is it's not about necessarily the big things. Whilst they're lovely to have a nice big budget and get to redo a building, sometimes the smaller things can make a difference, just like tidying the waiting room and keeping the clinicians' rooms looking nice. Because at the end of the day, it's the little things that make people think that you care. Participation is also really important for connecting with young people. It's about making the service so accessible to everybody and everybody who wants to use it, and making sure people know it's there for them and it's not there to lecture them or to be a nuisance, it's actually there to benefit them. So this to me is why participation is so important. Thanks.